Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Some of you may recognize this beautiful boy's face on the screen. This is little Thomas Valva. I extensively covered his case after his death in 2020. Things are not over yet. His mama, is still fighting with Suffolk County. But first, let me play this news clip. It is from a few months ago, last year, but it sort of gets you kind of caught up. I do recommend my playlist on Tommy. I went through the trials of both his father, Step Monster, and his entire case pretty in-depthly on here. And he may have justice as far as that's concerned, but like Harmony, I think there is a lot more justice that needs to happen.
Heartbreak etched on the faces of his East Moriches school teachers who spent months reporting suspicions their 8-year-old student Thomas Valva was being abused at home prior to his death. But a grand jury has found their fears were dismissed by Child Protective Services.
Had CPS done its job, Thomas Valva would still be alive today.
Thomas died of hypothermia in 2020 after being forced by his then NYPD father Michael and his fiancee Angela Polina to sleep in the garage in freezing temperatures. Dozens of calls were made by teachers, including 11 reports alleging beating, starvation, and verbal abuse, but deemed unfounded by CPS, the report concluded.
The failures of CPS in this case were hidden by a dysfunctional system.
Under state confidentiality laws, the CPS cases can be shielded from investigators even after the death of a child.
They are funded to provide this service to protect our children. And in these cases, the state law is blocking the accountability.
Again, it's just so ironic to me because I didn't know that Justina was meeting with her attorneys and what have you earlier this week. I think it was today, from what I understand, in regards to her lawsuit that has been going on for years. And this is, again, Tommy Valva, Harmony Montgomery, Quentin Simon. The list can go on, you guys. And where does it stop? Where does it end? These people, they should not be shielded. These CPS workers, they shouldn't be shielded if they are not doing their jobs correctly, and it causes the death of a child. I'm sick and tired of, oh, they have the right to privacy. No, your job is to protect these children. And no, it's not just the social workers, the CPS workers, it's the judges, it's the entire system, which is why they're stating that there needs to be an overhaul in Massachusetts. They said the same thing after Tommy's case in Long Island, okay? But there doesn't seem to be a lot happening. So when are we going to protect these babies?
Valva and Polina are spending 25 years to life in prison. Thomas's mother, Justina Zubko-Valva, is suing the county for $200 million. The grand jury recommended no criminal charges against CPS caseworkers or supervisors. Hampered, they said, because actions and names were legally withheld.
What steps did they take to investigate? Who did they interview? What findings did they make? We have no idea. We do not know, and we cannot find out because of existing New York state law.
The grand jury recommended the state legislature immediately amend New York's social services law so that we never again endure the pain of Thomas Valva. On Long Island, Jennifer McLogan, CBS 2 News.
But is anything actually happening? Okay. The last update I was able to find out is in November. They stated that there was going to be changes to Child Protective Services in Suffolk County. I'm not sure if that's the entire state of New York. I would hope that that would come to be. But I have to do more research to find out if anything has been done. Because you can sure talk a talk, but are they walking this walk? You have all these folks saying, the governor, they're all saying, oh, we need to make changes. Are they happening? Is this being done? This grand jury report came out, I believe, 9 months ago now. 9 months ago. So what's happened in 9 months? And in November, they're stating that they were going to do the changes, and they were vowing that they needed to make sure that there was not another tragedy, like Valva. So the question is I have for Suffolk County is, what are you doing? And you better believe I'm going to be looking into that, because especially with Harmony going on, this was something I have been trying to look into for a while. Unfortunately, I got sidelined on a lot of other cases, but we need to be sure that they are held accountable. These children, they rely on these social workers, these judges. They rely on these people to protect them. Tommy told his teachers, they all were reporting, those were teachers there at that press conference. They testified at the trials of both Michael and Angela Paulina that they reported multiple times, I believe it's like at least a dozen times, about Tommy and his brother. Okay? They reported it, and it went on deaf ears. And what makes me even more sick is that Tommy himself was in an office with a guidance counselor and a social worker, CPS worker. He told them what was going on, and guess what? They didn't do a damn thing. So we know the judge's name as far as in Tommy's case, and I know we know the judge's name in Harmony's case, but why are we protecting these workers that are failing our babies? These babies deserved much, much better. Now to the update I wanted to speak about today is in regards to his mother, Tommy Valva's mom's lawsuit. Now again, like I said, it's been going on. Remember, this happened in 2000. He died of hypothermia after his father and fiancee, Angela Paulina, forced him to sleep on the cold ground in an unheated garage in freezing temperatures. It still makes me shudder to think what Tommy went through. It really, really does. And I can't stand temperatures in the 30s and 40s, guys, and I have heat. This poor, poor baby. So they were back into settlements this week, and according to the lawyer, Justina Zubko-Valva wants more money. Okay, so she originally wanted 200 billion, from what I understand. 3 million, sorry, not billion. Make sure I got my numbers right here. She originally wanted 3 million. So she's apparently asking for more at this point. And let's be honest. What price does a child have? It's not going to bring him back, no matter what she gets. It's not going to bring Tommy back. It's not. But these workers, this judge, nobody but his father, sperm donor, and his girlfriend, fiance, that caused all of this, they're the only ones suffering in prison. The rest of them, they're allowed to go sleep at night at home, in their own homes. You gotta wonder, do they have trouble sleeping at night knowing that they were a part of the cause of little Tommy Valva's death? I wonder the same thing as far as Harmony is concerned. So again, they were back in settlement talks this week. The hearing was held because there was a discovery deadline of this month. And so far, this is according to Newsday, no parties have given a deposition in the case. And I know Justina does not want her boys to talk, but I'm assuming they're probably going to have to speak at some point or another. The magistrate judge who's in charge of this case, who's leading this case, has stated that this case really has to start moving forward, and things need to happen. Attorney Jonathan Bruno of Manhattan, he spoke on behalf of all the defendants in the case. He outlined for the judge a number of potential obstacles toward resolving the case, including the escalating settlement figure and a large number of deponents requested by Justino Zubko-Valva. So, again, there's a lot going on, and it looks like there have been some recent settlement discussion that actually only came about on Monday. So it does seem like we're starting off January 2025 with things starting to come around in multiple cases. And again, Tommy's case criminally is done, but the lawsuit is far from over. They made a new demand, which is a much higher number than what demanded at a prior mediation. So again, Justina and her representation are asking for more money. Bruno, representing the defendants, stated that while it's important for the settlement discussions to continue, both sides need to move ahead with scheduling depositions, and that includes testimony from Justina Zubko-Valva herself, her two surviving children, which is Tommy's brothers, as well as Michael Valva and Angela Polina. I'm sure they're going to love to testify, do depositions from their prison cells. An attorney for the school district recently informed the judge that Justina Zubko-Valva has been reluctant to make the boys, Anthony and Adam Valva, available for depositions, while Assistant County Attorney Kaylin Toster said the mother has requested 20 people to be deposed. I don't know Justina. Nobody really knows, but from the impression I've gotten from her posts, she's very, very religious. I believe she's Catholic, and she is highly, highly protective of these two boys, her remaining babies. So I understand her reluctance in wanting them to be deposed, but it's going to have to happen. I mean, I'm sure that her attorney has been clear on that with her. She previously rejected a $3 million settlement that was offered from Suffolk County after she learned it would cover all the defendants in the case, according to a letter she filed with the court on her own behalf back in November of 2023. That's when she replaced her original attorneys in the case. At that time, she said she'd be willing to settle the case for $30 million. So they wanted to pay her off $3 million for everybody, all of these defendants that are listed. And she's like, no freaking way. I don't blame her. So apparently, according to this hearing today, both sides have to submit something to the judge with real numbers attached to them before a formal settlement conference is going to be held. So again, a lot of issues, depositions, and the judge is really just trying to get the ball going here. He's like, she's like, we got to get this going. And, they don't want to do a settlement conference until they get some things, better straightened out, which is understandable. According to Wednesday's conference, which is nearly 5 years now since she filed her lawsuit, Justina Zubko-Valva has now filed a $200 million claim. She is going through a bitter divorce proceedings and custody battle with Michael Valva, who along with Polina is serving a 25 years to life sentence for the murder of Thomas Valva. And I hope to God it's more than 25, guys. Like, tell you what. So it does seem like they're at a bit of a standstill right now between Justina and Suffolk County. So I don't know where things are going to, end up. Again, I I kind of feel bad I didn't keep track of this a bit closer. I kind of thought it would have been resolved by now, but I think I would have seen it because I do have a news alert up for Tommy. But at the same time, I really do feel for Justina and the boys. To me, there's just no amount of money that's gonna make anything better. And I wish there could be more criminal charges, for these workers, for the judge. I mean, again, it's just like I said, there's different. Harmony was brutally tortured and hated by her sperm donor, and Tommy basically sort of the same way. He wasn't stored and all that, like the horrible things that happened to Harmony, but I think their cases kind of are parallel in a lot of ways. These judges granted custody to their bio fathers, and Adam, like I said yesterday, he's a multiple time felon. And then you had Michael Valva. He was law enforcement, NYPD. I'm sure they saw that as, oh, he's a great guy because he is a cop. It doesn't always work that way. And Justina did not have all the resources, and she fought the best that she could. And the state had plenty of time. The county and the state had plenty of time to remove them from the custody of Michael and Paulina. They had plenty of time, plenty of opportunities after all these calls to CPS, and they just threw up their hands. They believed the things that Michael and Angela were telling them, and they kept that boy in a dangerous place, which caused his eventual death. But this case, as you guys know, it really burns me up. It's just like Harmony. It really, really burns me up. And in light of everything that's happening now with they're trying to get the audio transcripts from Harmony. And if you hadn't watched my video from yesterday and you followed her case, please check that out as well. I think that we need more transparency in Tommy's case as well. So I am definitely going to be looking more into these CPS situations because it's not just one state. It's all of them. Look, you have Massachusetts, you have New York, you had Georgia with Quinton. I mean, I'm telling you, every single state has their cases. Every single freaking state. And while they all call their child protective services family this or family that, they're all the same thing. Their job is to protect these innocent babies, and they're not doing it. They're just not doing it. But I really do want to hear from you guys on this one. Let me know your thoughts. This is very, very important. And let me know if you would like me to dig further into this case and Harmony's case and others with these CPS failures. With that said, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.